Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, we're here in the kitchen again, but this isn't a recipe video today. Just, I don't know, felt like I would do it in the kitchen since food is involved and some cutting was involved, and I didn't want to get juice and sticky and all that kind of stuff in where I have my computer and stuff. So anyhow, we're going to talk all about papaya on this raw food diet today. Because I get questions about papaya all the time, as I've been showing a good bit of papaya lately. So anyhow, I do videos every day. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down there so you can come back and watch some more videos. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications, and that'll make sure you stay subscribed to the channel. Every time I show papaya, I get some of all the same questions and a lot of the same comments about papaya. Actually, I've been showing papaya more. I don't know that I've talked about it or showed it here on YouTube in a while, but I've been getting some and I've been sharing them quite regularly on Instagram. And I got some this weekend while I was in Pensacola, and while I have some good papaya here, I thought now was the time to do a video. I get asked the same questions, like I say, all the time. And I get questions like this about other fruits too. And this question I really despise, I hate, I dread every time I see it come in. Not like giving anybody a hard time about asking it. It's just there's certain types of thought processes, certain types of questions that I don't know. I just don't know how to answer that. Most of my stuff comes through trial and error. I'm not like an egghead intellectual on this. I'm not overthinking. Okay, well, let's see. If you do this, this, and this, and you blah blah blah. I'm just kind of stumbling my way along. I figure things out. Probably it takes me longer to figure things out than some, but I get there. And papaya is a fruit that I'm going to tell you a lot about, well, as much about as I know about today. First of all, why the papaya? Papaya is rich in fibers, rich in antioxidants, full of vitamin C, helps improve digestion, anti-inflammatory, heart health, helps with weight loss. I mean, come on, this is as good as it gets. Now, for me, the main reason I like papaya, mango, that kind of stuff, it's a higher water content fruit. And it's just an amazing fruit, and it's a fruit that I hated for so long. And then I went through the stages of, no, I don't like papaya. Actually, I say I hated it, but I always would eat papaya because I knew about the digestion part. I had always heard it helps improve digestion. I knew it was good for you. It didn't like make me throw up or anything. So back in the day, I'd get a fruit bowl or something and I would eat my papaya, but I would always try to make sure and eat papaya with a bite of something else kind of to cover it up because I had never had good papaya yet. I don't know, I can't really tell you how to choose a papaya. Like there's choosing a papaya when you're buying it, and there's also deciding when it's ripe. Now, one thing I'm finding here is it's a different ball game than in Costa Rica because, I don't know if they've some sort of a process, but when the fruit is picked to ship a long distance, it ripens differently. So I've had to kind of relearn papaya, which I definitely wasn't a specialist in to begin with. Now, what I'm finding here in the States, for sure, is these little small papayas. And I'm getting these at my Asian market in Pensacola. I was getting some bigger ones at other places for a while, but I've just found that the bigger papayas don't tend to ripen and get good. Some of them never ripened, some of them just never had any flavor to them, but I've had a lot better results with these small ones right here. Now, as you can see, I bought these just 2 days ago, so they're pretty orangish. They're getting close. Now, I want to show you this. Now, whereas some people might think, oh, the papaya's gone bad, there's a little white mold on the outside. And to be honest, it never got to the point where you had mold on them in Costa Rica because like I say, they ripen differently. But now I want you to look at the mold on this papaya. You see this papaya? Well, this papaya that I have right here had maybe about the same exact amount of mold on it, and I cut into it, and it's just absolutely perfect, perfect, perfect. Nice color, nice everything. And I just kept it like that, kind of pretty, but I like to put I'm putting mine in a bowl. Now, I'll tell you a little trick here. if your papaya is not the best in the world, I like to keep a little bit of lime around, and I just squeeze a little bit of lime on there. But even if it is, now papaya is one of those, how do I say this? I'll use lime and a little bit of chili powder on papaya and on mango as well. A little bit pickier about my mango. When the mango's really, really good, I don't like to put anything on that. Now with the papaya, the lime juice gives it a nice little twist. So if the papaya is not as tasty, it helps it a little bit. But even if your papaya is good, even if it's very good, that little bit of lime juice helps. Now I use my little chili powder from time to time, and I was told, and I buy this stuff, I buy some of my stuff at a little Mexican bodega here in town, and I was told, I hadn't been using this before, but this is the typical traditional kind in Mexico, Tajín. Sometimes I'll use a little bit of this chili powder on there, but this is good. Now I had a papaya last week that was just flawless, epic. This is good enough to where I'll put a little bit of light chili powder on there. Yeah, you just kind of got to play with them. And if you, here, let me make sure, I want to do justice to the papaya, because most people do similar to I did, and just give up on them. Number one, you know, hey, maybe you're in an area and you're not, I'm sorry, if you're in the States, Europe, Canada, you might possibly be in an area and just never get a good papaya, and then your perception of papaya is always going to be, well, yeah, hey, I don't like papaya, it's not good. What I'll say in that circumstance is, if you just literally never get any papaya, even after me telling you this, okay, try this, get some smaller ones, let it go further than you might think you need to let it go. I've cut some premature before, but even if you can never get a good papaya in your hood, if you get to the tropics, if you go to Costa Rica, if you go to Mexico, please, please, please don't let that bias you down there. Try to get one from the source, and you will probably more likely enjoy it. Now let me go ahead and throw in there, because there's some guy down there, and I love to mess with Poindexter a little bit. It's always that kid in class, you know, the kid in class that used to, always wanted to impress, wanted to be the one asking the questions, asking the next level questions, thought they were a step ahead of the teacher. Every time I show some papaya, somebody wants to like blow my mind. Well, did you know you can use the seeds? Well, of course I knew you could use the seeds. I've been aware of that kind of stuff for a long time. You know, to be quite honest, I get somebody will ask me that every time, and no, I don't use them very often. I'm healthy, you know. I've looked into this. Maybe if I had some illnesses, health conditions, certain health conditions, I might. But most of the time, I'm going through my day, I'm cutting up my fruit and eating it. I'm not growing everything, and I'm not doing this project here, and I don't have this project. If I did every project and did every little thing, people say you should do that, I don't know how I'd get through the day. But they are good for you. They're good for detoxing the liver. I've heard of this as being a good treatment for, you know, cirrhosis of the liver. So apparently these seeds are very detoxifying for the liver. They fight bacterial infections. They can combat candida overgrowth. They help protect the kidneys, and they also, too, I guess, so I think somebody just threw that in. They say better digestion there as well. Now here's a little something else that people don't think. This is really, I should have kept the skin when I cut that other one. I'll just cut a little piece of skin off right there. But this is really, really good for your skin. Those peels, when you cut some off of there, you can just take this and wipe it all over your face, all over yourself. It's really, this fruit is good stuff, not just for the internal, you know. What you put in your body, you can also put outside your body as well. And for the skin, it's good for exfoliating dead skin. It's good for repairing aged skin. But the best of all, it's a great moisturizer. Really moisturizes the skin very well. When I used to get dry skin, like on my forehead and places, I would just, like a lot of times when I was eating, I'd just take it, you know, just wipe it like that. Yeah, it'd get in the beard a little bit. Oh well, you just pour some water on it. But yeah, I mean, the papaya, it's a good fruit. Don't let it, you know, don't throw it under the bus just because you haven't had a good experience with it. I'm telling you, I was right there. I lived at the source. I lived at the source and wasn't getting good papaya. I just had to learn. I had to try it. And I had to experiment and learn how to get good papaya. But once you have good papaya, you'll have that aha moment. And it'll be like, oh man, yeah, of course, I've got to have papaya. Now, I've come to accept that I'm never going to find as much good papaya probably as I can find, as easily as I can find mango. So I do look at good papaya as more of a treat. I don't expect to get good papaya all the time. I don't expect that to be part of my regular everyday diet. But when I do get into an area and I can find, or you know, maybe a particular store's just getting them for a while. And you never know if your store is going to get something for a while and then it just goes away. But for right now, I'm digging these little papayas, and I'm going to go, as soon as I finish this video, eat this one. And then I've got 3 more. And 2 cases of little Atolfo mangoes, incidentally. But mangoes, that's a different story. But yeah, the papaya is a great fruit. And I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you with this, just if you haven't picked that up already. I'm telling you, just because you don't like what you're eating right now doesn't mean you wouldn't like papaya. So don't get that association. I know we've all done that. You've eaten something that you really had a bad experience with, but there is hope. You find the right papaya, you get into some good papaya, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I see what they're talking about. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If y'all like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.